Since Rox was introduced into One Piece, there has just been a flood of Blackbeard upscale in the community. Posts like these, Gura plus Yami plus Emu's power plus Advanced Conquers Hockey, all 3 Devil Fruit Awakenings equals endgame Blackbeard. Like, I'm going to tell you why this is so wrong. Since the introduction of Rox, which I have to agree, one of the best characters we have seen, and honestly the entire story of One Piece, has birthed this story of a son that almost has to take his mantle, or better yet, push his ascension even higher. But I'm telling you guys, it's gonna fail. Blackbeard isn't going to be the superstar that we all think, and he's definitely not going to come anywhere close to Rox. And let me tell you why. So it all starts from this panel, okay? When they're talking to Saturn and they're wondering, what do you Blackbeard pirates want, right? What are you guys after? And they respond with, the world, okay? Well, it seemed kind of like random at first. Rox added a lot of clarity to that vague statement because when Whitebeard and Kaido teamed up against Emu, they said, what are we facing? And then Rox replies with, the world, okay? But people are giving credit to like this crazy 5D chess move that Blackbeard is actually pulling behind the scenes, and really it's not all that accurate. I personally think it's just a coincidence. But that's not all, because it's been proven time and time again. I mean, just back in Impel Down, Magellan speed blitzed the entire Blackbeard crew. But not only that, but right before that, Luffy used his Gum Gum no Bazooka and one-tapped Blackbeard, okay? He was trying to stand on business. He came in with his whole crew and got one-tapped by Luffy, okay? This dude, no, he can't handle the heat. And the same dude who speed blitzed him also got one-tapped by Luffy. Again, this is pre-time skip, okay? This is without Haki even being fleshed out. And Luffy, I mean, with just the slightest bit of armor with Haki, would have took down Magellan. I mean, imagine what he would do to Blackbeard. And you can go back even further with Ace, because his Dark Fruit has been getting a lot of credit lately, especially because of how bright and how high up the Nika fruit has been soaring. They have been just basically counterweighting this with the Dark Fruit. And this is what it was doing pre-time skip. It wasn't even on the same level, it wasn't on the same caliber as Ace's fruit. And we already know because of Akainu, there are different tiers of fruit. Magma beat fire, but yet right here, darkness can't beat fire. So you're saying that not only is magma then stronger than fire and now darkness, right? Where does the Nika fruit lie? Is he just gonna walk him over? Well, no, because they then doubled down and gave him the strongest Paramecia fruit too. And honestly, I don't see him awakening anything. I mean, his debut fight with both of the fruits was against Law, and by no means was it a 1v1. Law got jumped by the entire Blackbeard fleet, and at the same time, he's also tried to protect his crew. So it wasn't like this random 1v1 matchup with tons of prep time, like not even close. And comparing Blackbeard to a genius level strategist, potentially like Rox, I mean, Rox can just kind of bulldoze his way through. He does have these slip ups where he's really not all that bright, like, and he's obviously really creepy. Just exhibit A. But the only credit I can really give him is leveraging hostage scenarios, or, I mean, Pudding is kind of an exception because he's obviously going to use her to read the poneglyph, something that he desperately needs in order to be on top. But he also has Garp, okay, which is probably the strongest bargaining chip you can have, at least against the Marines and potentially the Straw Hat crew, because obviously the relationship between Luffy and Garp, right, grandson and grandpa. But even with him having Boa, which we'll get to in a second, Pudding, and then now Garp, okay, it's really the lowest tier of strategy that you could think of, right? Because it's essentially giving Hanji Noso a political advantage by having Garp. So it's basically a ticket in the back of his pocket to allow him to do whatever he wants or gain leverage off of the government to leave him alone to basically inspire chaos or whatever plan he is, because I really don't see him having a plan. And that kind of goes into the Advanced Conquers Haki theory, okay, that everyone's saying that he's going to somehow get. Because when Rayleigh pulled up, when he took out Boa, okay, this was the dude's reaction, okay? Come here, let's zoom. Even in the anime, okay, so you can't say, oh, they adapted it wrong. No, this is panel for shot, the same reaction. Dude is sweating, okay? So I don't think when your will is challenged that you break down in a situation like this when you have already what seems to be basic Haki and then two of the strongest fruits against Rayleigh. I mean, Grant Rayleigh could just be him. We're seeing a lot with the God Valley flashback, so that's also a possibility. But I mean, at that point, wouldn't it be the best time to display your will of a conqueror to go against one of the legacy pirates, right? Instead, he pulls up, bluffs on you, and your reaction is to freeze up and then just kind of do what he's saying and give up. Like, wouldn't you expect him to challenge him even in the slightest? And because of him just basically tucking his tail and running, that kind of gets rid of any leverage in my brain that he had towards having Conqueror's Hockey. Like, that totally snuffed that in the butt for me. So when I'm seeing these posts like this, I just do not see what people are talking about. Whether this overscale for his Yami Yami no fruit when it went dead even with aces, or whether it was the display of the Gura Gura fruit, which again, he had to show up with his entire crew to be basically almost even with Law, which again, fruit also didn't work. And also when he finally gets a chance to prove himself and showcase his potential Conqueror's Hockey against someone like Rayleigh, he sweats, turns tail, and then runs. I unfortunately don't see him living up to the hype in which Rox is at, okay? This level has ascended too far for Blackbeard. Because it's unfortunate. If you were to start the story at this point right here, this character, baby Blackbeard, would go on to be one of the most legendary pirates ever. But I honestly just don't think that he would ever come close to even a panel shot like this, where you have the big three, you know, going against the world. I just don't think it's in his deck. In terms of strategy, I feel like his only strategy right now is to drag more slave women onto a ship, to be honest. But hey, I could be wrong. The Gura and the Yami could awaken. He can somehow absorb Emu's power. He could somehow also get advanced hockey in some situation. I mean, the plan from the beginning could have been true all along, all right? When he actually means the world, he actually does mean catch and absorb Emu's power some way, somehow. I don't know. But as of right now, I just don't see it. I'm rewatching it. I saw him get speed blitzed by Magellan. Okay, Blackbeard, I know, is right here. And it's unfortunate because his dad, again, is like one of my favorite characters right now. I wish the flashback never ended. Hopefully, fingers crossed, Rock is still alive and somehow, some way sealed into Blackbeard. But the closer we're getting to the story, I mean, once 1163 comes out, it's probably going to get rid of that theory. And it's kind of a shame because Rox is such a great character. And as of right now, Blackbeard just seems to be like a vessel, right? His initial will doesn't seem all that strong. He seems kind of weak. He seems kind of like just... you know, like shallow. But then again, we don't know. There could be something that we have no idea that's even at play. We don't know how much of his like early on childhood trauma is carrying to this day. But anyway, yeah, that's my video on Blackbeard right now and the hype.